Um, let me say this. Let me put out this disclaimer before I begin. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. I have mine, and I have every right to express my opinion, no matter whether you agree or not. And I don't expect for you to agree with everything that I say in this video, but I do want you to understand, you all to understand. All right, let's begin. I know why black men date outside of their race. And it's crazy. Like, I never really thought about it like this, but it's just the truth. So let me say this from the beginning. For whatever reason, the man left and left the woman with the boy, right? So we're talking about like a large percentage of men that have been raised by women. So the first thing is this, a woman can't raise a boy into a man. You can't even try. You know what I'm saying? Your attempts to try to raise a boy to be a man will definitely fail, no matter how much you attempt to try to do it. Now, if you have someone that's helping you, far as your father, or rather his grandfather, his uncles, a father figure, that's something different. But a single parent woman that's trying to or attempt to raise a boy to be a man, it's not gonna happen. And I know from personal experience. You know what I'm saying? I mean, let's just be real. You can't even teach a boy how to pee straight because your sexual organs is a vagina. Men have a penis. So let's just get that out of the way. There's no possible way that a woman can attempt to raise a boy in order to be a man. She will always fail. That's a fact. The next thing is most black women are having children when they're children themselves. You know what I'm saying? 16, 17, 18. So they're maturing while in the process of trying to raise a child, especially a boy. God forbid, for the sake of conversation, I'm not religious like that, but God forbid, if this woman is promiscuous or just having men come in and out in her life, that boy is seeing that. You see, this is the crazy thing. So if you push record, right? Like I'm pushing record on this camera, right? I can't, seriously, I can edit and all the rest of that stuff, but I can't stop what's going on outside of this car. Matter of fact, it may be times where I can't stop what's going on inside this car. This car may beep for a certain reason or whatever have you. In other words, I can't control my environment. I can only control me. So what I'm saying is that most boys they're pushing record. They're recording and they have it in mind what's going on. So you can't edit out, oh, I had, a good time with Phil last night, and I dropped my son off for the weekend at my mother's house or at his grandmother's house. You can't edit that part out. You can't edit the part out where he wanted let's say, for example, he was thirsty, when it was 1:00 in the morning and he knocked on your door and you didn't answer. So he opened your door and next thing you know, you're sucking Phil off. You can't edit that part out. So he's looking at your actions and what you're doing as a black female. And he's seeing that what you're doing is not right. So you're indirectly and directly teaching that boy that when I get older, I don't really want to date a black woman because who are the first teachers to children? The mother. Straight up. When I think about my mother and the things that she did, I don't want to date someone like my mother. Like, I ain't into no incest shit or anything like that. But to be real with you, if I didn't know my moms, I would never date her. Based on her attitude, her personality, her this and that, she's not dateable to me. And most men will agree that like damn near all of their mothers are not dateable. They're seeing that. They're seeing the single black woman attitude. They're seeing that shit. Directly and indirectly. They're seeing how, when it comes to black men, oh, he ain't shit, he ain't this and that. You're constantly bashing them. You're constantly bashing us. This is what this boy is looking at listening to. He's looking at throughout all his years. And at the end of the day, he grows a certain type of resentment towards black women. And it's not his fault. It's your fault. Because this is what you showed him throughout the course of years. That black women sleep around. That black women, you can't trust them. Now, taking heed, not all black women are that way. But guess what? You are. And this is the reason why he's dating outside his race. Because when he dates outside his race, he sees that these women are what? Y'all don't like the word. Y'all don't like the word. Humble. They're committed. You understand? They're non-confrontational. You know what I'm saying? It's the exact opposite of how they were raised. Submissive. Y'all don't like that word. This is what he's getting when he dates outside his race. So who's he gonna choose? Because at the end of the day, let me be real with you. See, you women are always constantly talking about us, you know what I'm saying, towards other women. But you never ask a man about a man. You never try to get that understanding of a man, coming from a man. But it's like, you don't understand it has nothing to do with race. Because, I mean, let's be real, black men date outside of their race, but it's not like they date, strictly white women, or strictly Asian women, or Latinos. You understand? Men date whomever is going to present, feminine qualities and traits. And whether you females realize this or not, one of the feminine qualities and traits or personalities, whatever you want to call it, is being submissive to a man. Another one is being understanding. So guess what? These women that are non-black, they study you black women. And they do exactly the opposite of what you are treat the man exactly, the black man that is exactly the opposite of how you treat him. And this is the reason why you are losing your men fast. Because you always want to run your mouth. You don't want to be submissive. You don't want to have to answer to anyone. You know what I'm saying? I hear this all the time. I make my own money. I'm an independent woman. How are you? You don't change your own oil change when you need an oil change for your car. You can't change your tire. You know what I'm saying? And the list goes on. And you could check off, well, I could do this and I could do that. Well, how many buildings? I live in Charlotte, North Carolina. How many buildings have you all built in Charlotte, North Carolina? Who has designed the infrastructure of Charlotte, North Carolina? You know what I'm saying? Let's go to the waste plants. Who's there? Who's doing all the dirty work? Who's mining? I mean, I could go on with this. Who's building airplanes? Who is basically designing these cities that you live in? So don't tell me that you're an independent woman and you could be without a man, because a man, this is a man's world. It's just that plain and simple. It's that plain and simple, hands down. You tell me how a woman contributes towards building the infrastructure of these cities. So you definitely need a man. Matter of fact, you needed a man in order to have a, what, child. And this is a wake-up call. But I know that you all are not going to listen to me. I know that most of the comments that I'm going to get on this particular video are going to be from men saying, yeah, man, you right. You right. You right. I'm not Kevin Samuels. I'm not Fresh and Fit. I'm neither or. You understand? I'm just a man that has observed. I'm an observer of life. And I'm like, wow, I get it. I get it. I don't even want to date my own mother. I don't. You know what's so funny, man? I remember, like, I used to take my girlfriends around my mother, right? And she would say, like, take for example, there's one girl named Artrice. She was like, so I take, my mom's to see, I take Artrice to see my mom's, and she's like, my mom's is like, well, she's okay, but she's kind of selfish. You know what I'm saying? I can see how, she'll do things for you, but she want those things done times 10 to her in return. So say, for example, if she buys you a card for your birthday, she's going to want a gold chain. You understand? So the next girl I took, to see it, Keisha, she's like, well, Keisha, I don't know about Keisha, she's quiet, she just don't seem like the type that da-da-da-da-da, right? Then I brought another girl, and this girl, she was like, I don't know about her. She doesn't seem like she has a mind of her own and this and that. So, and I'm trying to figure out, well, how in the hell does my mother, like, how does she know this shit? It's a thing called mother's intuition. Yes, true indeed. But then also there's a thing called life and experiences. So if you're telling me that this girl is selfish, at one point in time you were. In order to be able to identify that this girl is selfish. You understand? Like, I'll give you an example so you could understand, like, you fully understand where I'm coming from if you're misunderstanding what I'm saying. Say, for example, if my daughter brings, a boy over to the house, right? And she says, I want you to meet him, Dad. And then I'm, talking to him or whatever, and I'm observing him. And then I pull her to the side. I'm like, yo, that nigga ain't about no relationships. He all about having fun. The reason why I know that, because I used to be that way. You get it? Like, I'm not trying to put all of the pressure and the blame on the black women. But at the same time, you gotta accept some type of blame. You gotta accept the majority of the blame. Of course, hats goes off to you. You're right. The man walked away. And he left it up to you to raise that boy to be a man. Right? Yeah, you're right. That man needs to accept full responsibility, but you need to accept full responsibility of choosing a deadbeat dad. Because you knew in the very beginning that he wasn't worth shit, and you know that. Most women know when a man ain't worth shit. Most women have a fetish as well, as men do. You know what I'm saying? That tall, dark, and handsome, and they'll fall for that shit easily. I've seen it with my own eyes. Go out to the club with this tall, dark, and handsome dude. I'm trying to talk to the boy. She like, man, get out of my face. Let me drop my panties down for this dude. And this motherfucker ain't even said a word. So you have to accept full responsibility when it comes to you opening up your legs to the wrong nigga. And being promiscuous at that. No wonder why most men are going around saying, oh, well, black women ain't nothing but sluts, whores, and this and that and so forth. You want to know why they saying that? Because they learned that from their mother. Their mother was whoring around and doing the shit that she was doing. And then another thing too, I hear, this thing about, nowadays, the woman has to be more masculine than the man in the relationship, and the man is more feminine. Well, guess who taught the man how to be more feminine? Don't you all understand, you women? that there's a cause and effect, and that, like I said before, we all are to blame. The problem that I have with you women is that you don't want to accept responsibility for your actions, your whorish actions. You know what I'm saying? Like, some of you old women have it in mind, like, I'm gonna have this child regardless. But you don't have any type of health insurance. You don't have a car. You live with your mother. It's all of these red flags that are being put up that would tell you, any woman that had common sense would tell you, you know what? This ain't the time and the place to have a child. That I need to take my ass down to the Planned Parenthood. Planned Parenthood, or Planned Parenthood, whatever that shit is, the abortion clinic. That I'm not fit to raise a child right now. Why? Because I'm a child, my damn self. And then some of you all are in your 20s and your 30s with a childish mind. This is the reason why other races are busting our asses. Because guess what? We don't plan. We just fuck and then a child happens. That's the problem. We don't plan on having children. We don't. And I'm putting the blame on the man just as well as the woman. But I just hear this shit coming from women, and I'm like, come on, man. You talking about, well, you know, man ain't this and man ain't that. You know, they dating outside of the race and da-da-da-da-da, and this and that, and they just want somebody to be submissive and that. Yes, they do. Who the fuck wants to come home to a woman wearing the pants in a relationship? Who the fuck wants to come home when you done busted your ass all day long? You dealing with the white man, and he's whipping that damn whip. Who the fuck wants to come home to a woman that's gonna be confrontational? Who? Let me tell you something. The women that I deal with or have dealt with, they scratch my hair. They give me pedicures, manicures, all of that stuff. They groom me. That's a requirement. That's something that I require for all of my women. That's a form of being submissive. That's a form of loving and taking care of your man. And if a black woman is not going to do it, god damn it, I'll date outside my motherfucking race. You goddamn right. I'm not going to necessarily say, you know, the white race based on our history. But outside of the white race, please. But this is what I'm trying to explain to you all. Whether you get it, whether you understand, whether you disagree, it is what it is. I'm telling you, you know that saying, they say, how they put it? Don't call us something that you wouldn't call your mother, however it goes. You know, in other words, you're saying don't call me a bitch if you wouldn't call your mom a bitch. I know some of us men would definitely call, and I'm not gonna call my mom no bitch. No, I'm not gonna do that. But I'm saying, we'll at least think it. We'll have it in mind. Look at how you all raised us. Y'all raised us to resent the black woman. Dropping us off every weekend at grandma's house. Got another man coming in after you done stop fucking with this nigga. In the case of my mom, she was a quote unquote Christian woman. You know what I'm saying? She got married. But guess who she got married to? A fucking kid. This nigga had his own cereal. 30-something years old. Had his own cereal. We couldn't eat his cereal. He didn't know how to cook. He didn't know how to clean. He didn't know how to wash his clothes. My mom did all of that shit for him. All of it. And I'm sitting here like, what is he good for? Why are you with him? Don't you understand that, women? Your young boys, or your boys are looking at you right now saying, why in the fuck are you in this relationship? Why are you doing this, mommy? Especially when that boy knows that that man is full of shit. Just like how I knew that my mother's husband at the time was full of shit. This is crazy, man, and this should be a wake-up call. This should make you close your fucking legs. Straight up. If you want to talk about the black woman is God and this and that and so forth, then goddamn act like it. Close your legs. Take your ass to school. Get you a fucking education. You understand? If you want to, pursue, college and whatever have you, and then after that go into corporate world. Go into corporate world. Get your life right first. Excuse me. Set up the infrastructure, for the family that you want to have before you have it. Have something to bring to the table. Because a marriage is what? A business. And I'm telling you, once you think that way, you won't have to worry about no good men and these men are dating outside the race and this and that and so forth. Because guess what? At the end of the day, let me say this, and I'm going to end it with this. This is a big booyaka in your face. Most chicks, I'm saying chicks, thoughts, and all of that shit, they're screaming all that, I'm the independent woman and I'm this and that and I'm that, blah, 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 blah. While the real women, they're silent. Why? Because they're at home taking care of business. See, they ain't got to worry about their man dating outside their race. You want to know why? Because they did the right fucking thing. How about that? How many real women have you seen on YouTube argue, be confrontational, talking about I'm not going to be submissive and I don't need no man and all? You don't see none of them saying any of that. Because they too busy being a woman, a real woman. They too busy taking care of their man. They're too busy taking care of their children. Because guess what? It takes a woman and a man to raise a boy and a girl. How about that? How about the chicks that's going to be in the comment section of this video? That's what they are, chicks and thoughts. Real women, they ain't got time to be commenting. Matter of fact, they probably don't even have time to be looking at this video right here. Straight up. They too busy prepping and getting prepared for the next day. And the next day and the next day. They too busy dropping their children off at gymnastics, ballerina sessions, taekwondo. They're too busy dropping their lunch off to their husband's job. They're too busy to sit down and comment on this video to say, yo, Langston, you're right. Think about that.